Hello, I'm Alexander. A lot of you may know me from my edited analysis videos on anime, video games, manga, TV shows, movies, that sort of thing. And today I'm bringing you a totally different sort of video, a reaction video to Arcane, the Netflix series. To get a couple of things out of the way, I know very little about this. It came out just a couple of weeks ago, and since then, everyone who I've seen talk about it has loved it. In real life, on the internet, wherever. I haven't seen anyone say a bad thing about it, and so I'm not immune to that sort of hype, so here I am, ready to watch it. And I figured it would be a good idea to just try a new sort of video, something that I'm not entirely comfortable with, but something that I'd be excited to try. So here I am, watching the series. Now, I know very little about League of Legends. Actually, I know pretty much nothing about League of Legends. I've never played it in my life. I've been told that it's the sort of show for which someone who's very familiar with the lore of League of Legends will enjoy it and find their appreciation for the show immensely heightened, but at the same time, you don't miss out on anything if you don't know anything about the lore. So that's good. There's no real barrier to entry for people like me. And so I'm excited. I'm ready to watch it. Aside from knowing that it's about League of Legends, I have seen a couple of posters maybe or promotional images. And that's it. I know nothing else. I don't know the characters. I don't know any plot events. I'm pretty much completely blind. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited to get started. Now, in terms of my reaction style, I don't really know what it will be like. I don't think I'll be very good at this, so just a fair warning. I don't intend to put on a show or be very loud or exuberant or super overly enthusiastic. What's most important for me is to immerse myself in the show. And if I'm trying to react rather than reacting organically and naturally, I feel like that's just going to make the whole thing feel inauthentic and artificial, and thus give you an inferior product, I guess you could say. And I won't be enjoying myself as much. So I'm just going to react to this as I would react to any other TV show if I'm watching it by myself or someone else. Obviously, I'll be talking a little bit more. I'll be verbalizing my feelings that I'd otherwise keep to myself. But apart from that, I'm just going to be taking it how it goes. I'm just going to be going with the flow and whatever comes to mind. I might not talk a lot, and I'm sorry about that if that's boring for you. This may not be the channel for you if that's what you're looking for, someone who's talking a lot. But yeah, this is my first time, probably my only time doing a reaction series. So I just ask that you bear with me. But if you are interested, thank you. Thank you for joining me on this 9-episode journey. I'm really excited, ready to get started, ready to meet some new characters and see what this story is all about. So let's do it. Let's start with episode 1 of season 1 of Arcane. I love that. Harrowing. Siblings. Mother. I love the aesthetic already. It's taking them away from the enemy. Okay. Yeah. Expecting some sort of time skip after that.
We're almost there. Hey, Powder. Come take a look.
They must be the two in the beginning. I love it.
One day, I'm gonna ride in one of those things.
And one day, I'm gonna shoot one of them down.
Vi, are you sure about this? Look, if we get caught,
We're not gonna get caught.
Immediately,
We'll be in and
the
out
guy with the
before anyone
goggles reminds me
notices.
of Biggs from Final Fantasy VII Remake.
All right, everybody, follow
The
me.
voice,
Just
the physique.
Don't look down.
Couldn't
The
we have at
food?
least just- I'll get her.
No, Powder, look at me. What did I tell you?
I'm ready.
That's right. So,
I love the expressiveness. The subtle little facial animations and body movements. It's really good. And everything's so stylized. It looks great.
What if Vandra finds out we're all the way up here?
look around you. You think anyone topside's going hungry?
Topside.
I'm going. Are you with me or not?
Vandra's gonna kill us.
Yeah, only if we screw up. So don't screw up.
There's tons of enforcers down there.
Means we're in the right place.
Seeing as I'm the only one who knows how to pick locks, I suggest...
Distinct character designs as well.
We are definitely not supposed to be here. Oh yeah? What about this?
That's a nose hair trimmer.
Keep an eye out for anything that looks valuable, Powder.
So they've done this before, clearly. They mentioned this being topside.
Guys?
Wait, Vi, how the hell did we find this place?
It was a tip from Little Man.
How can anyone have so much stuff?
Simple. Just get born lucky.
Just get born lucky. Lots of little, not overly subtle hints at the societal hierarchies here. Get out of there.
Powder, we gotta go!
Holy shit. It's disintegrating the whole thing. And she's collected a half dozen of them. That's a hell of a way to fight back against topside. You can tell their personalities by the different ways that they run, just in those animations. That's so great. So I'm assuming the enforcers are the ones after them? Actually, I think they might have already said that.
Man, not again. I just got this shirt. That last time was the last time we were gonna do this.
Well, this time's the last time.
I don't know. I didn't do anything.
Could fill a damn library with all the things you didn't do.
Guys, if you're done beating yourselves up, let's get this home.
I heard there was some action across the river. Someone really kicked the nest, huh? But now you're tracking this mess of yours through my streets.
Your streets. What makes you
Yes,
think...
we don't want any trouble, okay?
So
How
clearly,
about you share a little taste of your treasure there, and we'll call
the
it even.
underground, or wherever
We
they're
worked
from,
too hard to...
is not totally united at all.
Just...
I like Vi. They're used to this. Oh. Really cool. This is having some sort of profound impact on the little her Powder. Resourceful.
See how that ends?
Calling his bluff. That seemed important.
Where's Powder?
There's a lot of weight placed on that look. Can't blame her for that one.
Who saw that coming?
We never should have gone over there.
Doesn't matter. The stuff's gone. It's all right, Powder. At least you're okay.
Every time she comes, something goes wrong. She jinxes every job.
Just drop it, Milo.
Ooh, I love this. Oh, I wish I could pause and just see all the details in the background. I love the presentation of this underground place.
This is the new value.
We shook on
So
it.
different accents.
10,000.
Such are the risks of business. It's a fair price. I think you should take it.
More division,
No. I can't do that.
but at the same time a sort of melting pot. I think he's the one from the beginning.
I think I know what you need. Don't threaten the guy who pours the drinks.
So you're Vander.
Hound of the Underground.
How about you just give Huck the rest of what you owe him, and I'll let you walk out of here in one piece. Do we, have a deal?
Trust you have.
This is vile.
You'll learn to love it. Welcome to the lanes.
The lanes.
Vander
So
learns none of this.
No worries
clearly
there.
he
Powder
took them
care of
under
the
his wing
evidence.
after
I tried,
whatever that
okay?
war was.
You don't get it. You're older, you're bigger.
What the hell were you thinking?
That we can handle a real job. Nobody even saw.
You blew up a building.
That wasn't.
Did you even stop to think about what could have happened to you? Hey? To them?
But you're the one who always says we have to earn our place in this world.
I also told you time and time again the North Side's off limits.
They've got plenty while we're down here scraping together coins. When did you get so comfortable living in someone else's shadow?
The discomfort of living in someone's shadow.
Those kids look up to you. When people look up to you, you don't get to be selfish. You say run, they run. You say swim, they dive in. You say light a fire, they show up with oil. But whatever happens, it's on you. Just like it's on me what happens to us down here.
These are our streets. Someone should remind them of
You're
that.
not hearing me. That path, it's not going to solve your problems. It just makes more of them.
Seeing lots of parallels with a bunch of different
Clear.
stories I've seen in recent memory, especially with Vander. So they're clearly coordinated enough for other smaller jobs.
Oh, you did put that idiot on his arse. Right?
It's nice. But I guess this one was just too big for them. First real job. The double-edged nature of curiosity.
Milo, really. You know what, Milo? You're right. There's a bunch of things Powder just can't do. Like complain about everything.
What?
And brag nonstop.
Okay, I see where this is going.
Pick fights with the group when we need to focus. Nice
She
call.
leaves right during the most
Powder's
important part
my
of that.
problem. You see this look on my face? This will always mean it's time to shut up.
Oh, that's cute. I love the expressiveness. That was cute.
What's going on with that thing?
Give me a few seconds. The cannon pinion's still busted.
Finish it later. Vander and I need a word.
But
All right, off you go.
How could they be so stupid?
They're growing up, Vander. Looking to write their own stories. You can't protect them forever.
I'm comfortable with the
Someone was
shadows.
following them.
Whole lot of someones, from what I heard.
Not enforcers. There's worse things than enforcers out there. We both know that.
he paid in gold and didn't even haggle. I charged him double price.
This guy's a character.
Wait. Oh, crap.
Enforcers?
They'll be fine. Go.
That looked great. The silhouette in the narrow
Well, hello.
street.
We're looking for the culprits.
Got a description?
Listen, you shady
How
son.
about you go for a little walk, Marcus? Cool off a bit. Go.
Lovely chap you brought.
You know this crossed the line upstairs.
Was anyone hurt?
A building was blown to bits. What do you think?
Someone on the
council
inside,
needs
then.
Someone to make an example of. People need to feel safe.
Yeah.
We had a deal, Panda. You keep your people off my streets, and I stay out of your business. We'll do things quietly.
They're hitching a
No
deal.
one will know you were involved. You don't seem to grasp how serious this is. If I don't put someone behind bars tonight, the next time I come down here, I'll have an army of enforcers with me.
Someone's gonna pay for this somehow. I hope it's not Vander, because I like him already.
What are you calling this one? You want to talk about today?
What's the point? They ruined everything. I always do. I'm not a fighter.
You don't have to be. I've got these. And you've got those.
They never work.
They will.
This is already a really sweet relationship.
What are we doing here?
See that gutter running along the canal? That's where Clagger got his foot stuck running from enforcers.
They
Milo
did
tripped
that?
over his own paint bucket and nearly fell off trying to draw a giant middle finger. His ass made that splotch. When I was a kid, some guy took my favorite toy.
Great
and
shot
threw it
right
up
there.
I used to come out here at night and stare at it, hoping maybe the wind or a bird might knock it down. But we learn. And we stick together.
It's really lovely.
Milo's wrong, Powder. You're stronger than you think. And one day, this city's gonna respect us.
Oh, that's a hell of a shot. So it's already got the makings of some sort of coming of age.
You were supposed to follow them and not interfere. Vander's in trouble.
From the opening.
Smartest thing you ever said, boy.
The glowing eye. He's got a great voice.
Our timeline has moved up.
It's almost ready. Feeding time. Do you have a subject in mind?
Someone just volunteered.
Wow. Ooh. That's it, huh? I like that a lot. I like that a lot. So that was it, episode 1. I enjoyed it a lot. It wasn't, an 11 out of 10 masterpiece that left me totally speechless or anything, but it did a lot of things that you want a good first episode to do. It laid down a lot of establishment, did a lot of pretty subtle things with the setting, some decent character work, some really good character work. The music, the sense of tone is very much there. The aesthetic is great. Yeah, I really liked it a lot. So I guess starting from the top, before the opening, we have this scene between Violet and Powder. And there, right away, we have Violet showing that she is a very caring sibling by guiding Powder through and having Powder close her eyes and sing a comforting song of sorts, a nursery rhyme or whatever it would have been. I'm not sure what song that was. But it immediately shows how much she cares for Powder, for her sister, and how much she wants her to live a happy life removed from all of the things that they can't really avoid. She wants Powder to not have to worry about the things that she worries about, is the impression I got throughout the episode, and I think that's reinforced in the beginning. Everything's war-torn, everything's on fire, we have enforcers just killing people. I'm not exactly sure what that event was, because the Enforcers work for Topside, and Violet and Powder's parents, or mother at least, I'm assuming that's their mother, I don't think it's explicitly stated, but I'm just assuming that, died in whatever catastrophic event this was. I'm assuming that they were born in the underground. I forget what Vander called it. And there was some sort of conflict between the Enforcers of the Topside and the people living underground. As of right now, there seems to be some sort of status quo established where they very much don't like each other, and the Topsiders are resented, and we have these people stealing from them, our protagonists in this case. But it seems amicable enough so that there isn't outright conflict. So something was settled, and see, Vander seems to be a part of it, but I don't know why he was punching all those... Was he punching Enforcers in the beginning? I don't know. Either way, Vander took them under his wing, cared for them, clearly looked after them, and became their father figure. But something that struck me was he's carrying both of them, and they're both grieving for their family and their home, I guess. And he's walking away from Enforcers that are looking on. So it wasn't just this battle full of bloodlust for no reason. There was clearly some sort of motivation for the Enforcers to raze everything to the ground. Some sort of conflict between both sides. And Vander seemed to just take them away from it. So I'm not exactly sure. But then we see, all these years later, he's got some sort of deal with the Enforcers, with someone on the inside. It was, I forget her name, but the one with the interesting accent. So he has some sort of deal where they get fed inside information on both sides. So it looks like Vander pulled something for some sort of status quo, for some sort of peace. And I can only assume that's because he had no other choice. I also noticed that in the shop... Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but hopefully there's some sort of cohesion to what I'm saying. I also noticed when in the scene in the shop, he mentioned something about there being people way worse than Enforcers, and that they know better than everyone or anyone or something like that. And then he grabbed his wrist, which was covered by some sort of thing that's covering his wrist. So I wonder what that's about. So yeah, a lot of question marks over Vander. I guess we'll just go in Vander's direction. But I like him a lot. I like his personality. He draws a lot of parallels with characters I've seen in other stories, to name a couple. Thors from Vinland Saga, and Ned Stark from Game of Thrones. Those are the two that immediately came to mind for me. And minor spoilers for Vinland Saga incoming. You might want to just skip the next minute or so of the video if you don't want to be spoiled. The way that he really wants to get through to Violet and say, you know, you can't make it through this world just fighting your way through. It's not an exact parallel, but for me, I felt a lot of similarities with that and the scene with Thors and Thorfinn, where he says that no one is your enemy. So similar vibes there. Just the feeling I got from it. And then Ned Stark, just in terms of being this caretaker who took these girls in, is well respected by everyone in wherever he's living, the Underside. I don't know, just the general demeanor. I just got those same sort of feelings that Ned Stark brings forth in Game of Thrones. No huge concrete parallels, but hopefully you understand what I mean. But yeah, I like his personality a lot. I think he's clearly well respected. He had the whole bar behind him when he was trying to push out those shady traders. And I think they established pretty substantially why he's well liked. He seems to be the leader of this place. He seems to have everyone's best interests at heart, and he seems to be pragmatic enough to clearly. There's this sense of the Undersiders wanting more. They live in the shadow of the Topsiders, and a lot of them have seemingly lived here most of their lives, or a decent portion of their lives. Enough for them to want to dream for more and just to be sick of it. Violet's the prime example. But he sees past all of that. He sees that with society the way it is, that just isn't feasible. There are some societal boundaries that just can't be broken, I guess, at this point in time. And this uneasy but more or less safe arrangement they have going, and the double agent of sorts feeding him information, that's the best they're going to get right now. And so he wants to hold on to what he's got, I think, which is, it's not the best life, but it's a life. I hope it's more than just an existence. I haven't been able to really grasp if these Undersiders are living a life that is meaningful, gratifying, fulfilling, valuable, or if they're just living to exist. I hope it's the former, but I don't really know yet. Anyways, so throughout the entire thing, there's lots of little hints, even before it's, put in front of our faces, of the living situation. Lots of, not really subtle, but there's lots of subtext. In the beginning, Violet makes the mention of topsiders. It's pretty good exposition. It doesn't front load anything in any clunky way, and they talk as if they've done this before and if they've discussed these sorts of things before, in a way that keys the viewer into what's going on. They rise to the top of the roofs and they see the top side, and they're all amazed at the sights. So clearly they're unfamiliar with this place. Then you have them sneaking in, and then when they're inside, obviously they're trying to steal, clearly, so that in itself tells you that they're not from a family of means, they're not from a place of means, they need this stuff. But then you have the scene of Powder, who sees just a regular sandwich, and she is really happy about that. She takes a bite or two, and she's really happy. So clearly, just a simple sandwich is a valuable commodity, which shows you the type of existence they come from. So you see that divide, and then whoever it was who left this sandwich, clearly they don't care about it enough to want to eat it all in one go, or they left and something was more important. Powder just eats that right up. So interesting little things they do here and there. So they complete the mission, they get their haul, they escape. Powder accidentally blows it up with whatever those gems are, and she keeps them on her person. She loses everything else, but she keeps those gems with her. Clearly that's going to come in, that's going to be important later on. It was a nice introductory mission to key you into those four characters. I think it's clear that Violet and Powder are going to be more important than the other two, but all four of them are established pretty nicely, while simultaneously establishing where they come from, which is clearly a huge part of this story. I looked it up after. Clagger, I think his name was, the sort of bigger guy with the glasses. I said this during the reaction. He reminds me immediately of Wedge from Final Fantasy VII Remake. Similar personalities. They both like eating. I don't know, just a easy, shallow parallel I drew right away. And then there's Milo, who's a lot more curt. He isn't afraid to speak his mind. He isn't a fan of the way that Powder seems to hold them back, but I don't think he's a bad guy at all. I just think he's blunt. And I think he has his best interests at heart, and then gets frustrated when things get derailed. So yeah, not too much to say about those two, but I like them. I like their character designs, their personalities, voice acting's good. And then Violet. I very much get Eren Yeager vibes from her, just from it almost seems like an inherent hunger and yearning to get out of this shadow, to be able to live properly, to fight back so that they can live. Clearly she thinks that they're living a sort of existence rather than a life, and she just wants to be done with this. She wants to live properly. She resents the topsiders so much, and so she wants to do whatever they can to progress. Hence her kickstarting this mission. So she has that drive, and she can be reckless because of it, but at the same time, because of Vander, it's tempered a bit. So she made mistakes, and I think it's fair to say that mission they were in over their heads. Just due to the dialogue, they made it seem as if they had done missions before, but nothing like this. So it was a step above what they were used to. So a bit reckless. But she realizes pretty soon after the weight and responsibility that she has on her shoulders. These people follow her. Her sister follows her. and so she has to be smarter. So I wonder if a big portion of the story will involve her properly finding that balance, her properly being able to care for Powder and care for Milo and Clagger, and seek a better life, but tread carefully at the same time, because things are very finely balanced, and I feel like just from Vander's demeanor throughout the whole thing, if you tilt too far in one way, the whole thing will break, and all hell could break loose. They may lose the only home they have. If I were to make a prediction, I think Violet's going to have to learn to balance those two sorts of things. I don't know, though. Who knows where the story's going to go. But she is probably the most interesting character from this first episode. She's got a lot of ambitions, a lot of hopes, and a lot of love for her sister. And I think it's really endearing the way she respects her enough to take her on these missions with her and listen to what she wants, but she wants to protect her at the same time. She bends over backwards for her, and I think it's pretty clear that she's the most important thing in her life. And I think that's really endearing. That scene they had overlooking the city was maybe my favorite part of the episode. It's definitely up there, because it was just a great way for her to communicate. We've all made mistakes. We've all been immature. Yes, you're young. You're immature. You're going to make mistakes, but that's okay. Everyone grows from it, and we're all in this together. Through showing them the different parts of the town that they've made mistakes at, that Milo made a mistake at, Clagger made a mistake at, and then the bunny toy, the stuffed toy that got stuck in the wires. I think it was a long wire. Either way, you know what I mean. So the shot of them in the background and that in the foreground, it struck me as important, and I don't really know why. To me, just thinking about it off the cuff, that bunny to me, and through the way Violet talked about it, represented childhood idealism, the hope for a world where you can have fun and live a satisfying life and all of that stuff. That's a childish dream. That doesn't mean it's stupid. Quite the opposite. But it is a base childish instinct. Just to be happy. Just to have fun. And yet, that concept, being able to live, being able to be happy, I don't remember exactly how it happened. Violet explained it, but it's out of her reach. It was taken from her. It's hanging up there, that bunny. And so that happiness is out of her reach. It still is out of her reach. They looked on, the two sisters looked at it from afar. So maybe I'm overthinking it, but to me that seems representative of them reaching out for that hope. And that currently they just can't. The current situation makes it so that they can't. And that's very sad. I don't know. I was just struck by that shot. I thought it was really good. Really made me reflect on things. And then we have Powder herself. Clearly, she's technologically adept. She's making these little things, and they don't work, but at some level, she knows what she's doing. These little robots. Even more than a coming of age for Violet, I see a coming of age of sorts for Powder. She clearly has hang-ups about not being very useful, not contributing. Milo is sure to let her know about that, and she takes it to heart. I think she's upset by that. And so I think a big focus for her is learning to become useful, to help, and get her own strength in her own way, the way that Violet told her. You know, there are different forms of strength. She inspires a lot of sympathy in me, just because of that. She's down on her luck. She can't do anything right. She really screwed up on the mission. So it's Violet has a lot of the responsibility because I think she has the most of the responsibility because she is the reason that they did the mission. But Powder played a big part too because she's the reason the whole building disintegrated. And she still has those things, right? I think she's going to have to learn another lesson or two before she ascends. But either way, yeah, I like Powder a lot as well. I did mention that the confrontation between the thugs and Violet and everyone else, the scene where one of the thugs pulled out the knife and Violet walked up to him and said, "You sure you want to be doing that?" I said during the reaction that felt significant, and I still feel that way. There just seemed to be a lot of weight placed on that moment, and I really hope that Violet's, I won't call it cockiness, but I guess attitude during that scene, I hope it doesn't come to bite her, because, I don't know, that seems like a moment that could be reversed in the future. I don't know, just the vibes I got from it. But, so then going to the last scene, we have this guy, I don't know if they said his name, but he has one glowing eye, and half his face seems to be charred or burnt or something. And he was very interested in what Vander was doing. And in the opening, we have, I don't remember a ton from the opening, but what I do remember is the silhouette of Vander that's overpowered by the silhouette of this antagonist, it seems like. So clearly there's some connection between them. I don't know what it is, but he's very interested in Vander. So they were underwater. They were looking at some interesting sea creatures. And there was a very greenish color palette. That color palette seems to be pretty typical of the underground in general. And it just had underground vibes, that lab or whatever they were in. I'm assuming they're different factions of the underground, because I think something that was emphasized very clearly was that the underground may be in opposition to the Topsiders, but they are not at all in perfect harmony. There are thugs, there are these shady traders, and there's this guy, and then there's Vander's people. So, seems to be different factions with different ideas of whatever, different ideals. I think that's established through this guy. He has this sort of stimulant, I don't know, that transformed that mouse into some super mutant mouse that killed that poor cat. And there was a lot of emphasis placed on the fact that he had a volunteer for someone to use that on. I'm assuming it's going to be the thug that Violet confronted, that he was mad at, because he just had that talk with him. He left. And then he said, they did the whole poison thing, and then he said someone just volunteered to be the subject for this. So he's going to turn this kid into a mutant, which lines up pretty... It lines up pretty well with my theory on that scene being important and Violet's confrontation with him coming back to bite her. Anyways, so I don't know what the purpose of this is for. They just introduced it right at the end of the episode. I don't know what this antagonist's plans are. He's clearly trying to make some sort of super mutant, maybe multiple, maybe an army, who knows. For what purpose, I don't really know. I'm not sure. But I'm really interested to find out. And I think that just about does it. Good first episode. I liked it a lot. It looks great. There's a nice flow to things. The directing is really good. The use of music is really, really great. I love the vibe of the underground. There are so many details throughout. I'm going to go back and look at it just to see, just to pause at different screens and see what they added there to sort of show us all the moving pieces to this place. And the little bit we got of topside was good too. I loved how that looked. And the contrast just tells a story of its own. So, pretty dense, pretty substantial. I can already see some of the ideas they're going to be dwelling on. This sort of societal contrast, this sort of oppression, and the interrelationship and dynamics between the two. But yeah, lots of notable characters, engaging the entire way through. I was never bored. Can't wait to see more of Vander, Powder, Violet, the two sidekicks as well, and that antagonist in particular. Really interested in what his plan is. And I hope things just expand from here. Yeah, that was a really great time. So, that's about it. Thanks very much for watching, and see you in the next one.